Hi, my name is Mo Weinhardt, and I'm a Dharma teacher in the Empty Moon Zen Sangha. Today, I'd like to briefly reflect on values, vow, and the three pure precepts: to cease from all evil, to practice all good, and to save the many beings. Every moment of every day, we are each faced with choices. Choices about what to say, what to do, how to behave, and about what we value most. And what we value, or what we deem important in each moment, is very much a moving target. If left unchecked by some ethical standard of conduct, these choices often bend to the selfish or fickle. For example, if I need money to buy something I want, and I see a stranger on the street drop $20 by accident, in that moment I might value having that money for myself more than any other course of action. Or, if I'm in a foul mood, I might lash out at someone I love over something minor, indulging my anger and valuing my own emotional reaction and release more than the other person's feelings. I've done these and more. Sometimes we are aware of the decisions we make. Sometimes, though, we're on autopilot, unquestioningly guided by whatever habits we've established over the course of our lives. And sometimes we simply allow knee-jerk reactions. And whether choiceful or not, our actions embody what we value at any given point in time. Speaking for myself, even after years of practice, I still catch myself making less than wholesome choices, sometimes blindly and sometimes knowingly. Practicing the precepts means practicing how to be awake in as many of these moments as possible, so our words, thoughts, and actions are more likely to align with the values we aspire to embody. And that's exactly why I find Zen and precept practice so powerful. It is very much a verb. On this path, the destination is 100% the journey itself. And these three pure precepts, which form the foundational roots of the 10 grave precepts, can be guiding lights along the way, if we so choose. Let's look at each of these for a moment. The first pure precept is to cease from all evil. But what does that mean? How do we actually define evil? To me, this is an invitation to stop or disengage from harmful behaviors, including the harm that often comes from delusive certainty. And as humans, we crave certainty. We constantly create stories that help us fill in the gaps and to make meaning. Stories that often have little or no basis in truth. For example, think about some of the stories you may have told yourself about jerks on the highway, or maybe about people with different political beliefs. This is why some Zen schools frame this precept as not knowing, approaching a person or a situation from a place of possibility and not knowing versus a place of absolute certainty is much less likely to cause harm. In the words of my teacher, Roshi James Muin Ford, this not knowing is, in fact, the way of love. The second pure precept is to practice all good. To me, this centers on open-hearted compassion towards self and others. For example, how can you honor your own grief, frustration, or fatigue? Now, the etymology of the word compassion is to suffer with or together, and it's not limited to humans. What might it mean to practice all good when there's a bug trapped in your drink? The third pure precept is to save the many beings. Now, the word save can be particularly loaded, especially from a Judeo-Christian perspective. It's important to emphasize here that saving all beings does not mean becoming some knight in shining armor who rides to the rescue. That's just ego. To save the many beings is about opening one's heart to our profound interconnectedness with all that is. Seeing ourselves in all beings and all beings in ourselves, this lived experience can't help but lead to greater kindness and compassion. Just thinking of today in the context of your own life, what might that look like? The three pure precepts are not static mandates. They are vibrantly alive, inviting us to live with intention. And whether you have made a solemn vow to practice these precepts or are doing your best to embody your true values every day, just in everyday life, in the course of your own journey, maybe your experience will be like Norman Fisher's, uncovering your prejudices, facing them as honestly as you can, and stretching your view. Every moment of every day, we are each faced with choices. Thank you for practicing these aspirational values as often as you're able.